Shri Guru Charana Kamalebhyo Namaha. Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, O King Parikshit, due to meditating continuously at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, King Indra, underwater inside the stem of a lotus, became somewhat free from his accumulated sin of killing a Brahmana. Remaining sin. Most of the remaining sin was removed by Lord Indra, who is the controller of northeast direction. Why? Because Rudra, part of Lord Shiva, whose part is Lord Shiva, controls northeast, and Indra was performing his austerity underwater in northeast of the earth. Manasarovar lake is northeast of earthly planet. That's why Rudra took some of his sin, removed. Lakshmi Devi, goddess of fortune, sits on lotus. Lotus is the seat of goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi. And Indra was hiding inside the stem. Stem of lotus is hollow. It grows from the ground and goes up above the water. Above the water exists lotus. So Indra was hiding in the stem. So goddess of fortune protected him, saved him. Indra could not eat anything because he can only eat through fire. So fire cannot go in water to give him food to eat. So he performed. This side, all the sages and saintly people chanted the holy name of the Lord, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, in the name of Lord Indra. And when Indra was called, they performed a horse sacrifice to remove whatever sin remained in him. So all the sins of Indra are removed, totally finished. Indra became pure as when you burn the gold in fire and melt it, becomes pure. All his sins were removed, just like when sun rises, fog is removed. Same way, all his sins are gone. Sukadeva Goswami further says, O King Parikshit, the glories of the Supreme Lord can remove anybody's sin. Does not matter who. And when his sins are removed, then he chants properly, then gets blessings. Hearing this, King Parikshit asked Sukadeva Goswami, folded hands, submissively asked, O Gurudeva, by birth, Vritrasura was a demon. By nature he was in passion and ignorance. He had tormented everyone, including all the demigods. How come he was so fixed in the lotus feet of Lord Narayana, Kṛṣṇa? Even at the time of tribulations in the battlefield. How come? How it happened? Even pure devotees, they cannot fix themselves in devotional service. When person chants the holy name of the Lord, Out of millions, one chants. Out of those millions who are chanting, very difficult to become pure chanting. And it's very difficult for them, those who purely chant, to get love of Godhead. Out of those who are thousands of receiving love of Godhead, cannot fix properly in devotional service. That's why bhakti is called sudurlabha, means very difficult, very rarely achieved. O Gurudeva, king is asking, Parikshit, there are unlimited people, jiva jasankha, asankhila, living entities, means no numbers. As there are sand particles, whole earth is powdered into sand particles. How many sand particles are there? Very difficult to account. Similarly, there are unlimited. Among them, all living entities, human birth is said to be very rare. Among humans, those who seek to get their bright future after death, very difficult to find. Among human beings, they are very difficult to find who want to make their future bright after death. After death is the future of the person. Those who perform pious deeds, they are very difficult to find. Among thousands who perform meritorious deeds, pious deeds, very difficult to find who performs devotional service. Pious deeds are not devotional service. Pious deeds take you to heaven. Devotional service takes you to spiritual world, kingdom of God. Among those who execute devotional service, it is very difficult to find a pure devotee who receives self-realization. Among those who have received self-realization, very difficult to find among them who think Kṛṣṇa is everything. Matparaha. Very difficult. That Kṛṣṇa is, you cannot live without Kṛṣṇa, like that. So, Lord Kṛṣṇa himself said that, Sattvam yad Brahma darshanam, one has to be situated in pure goodness to have pure devotional service. Parikshit Maharaj further says, Muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayana Sudurlabha prashantatma kotisvapi mahamuni. Hey Mahamuni, O great sage, Guru is called great sage. So he's saying, O Gurudeva, O great sage, among those who have received perfection in their devotional service, very difficult to find one devotee, Prashantatma, who has received total peace and surrendered unto the lotus feet of the Lord. Kṛṣṇa is everything and is dedicated, wholeheartedly fixed in devotion. It's very difficult to find. Narayana is Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa is Narayana. Those who have received perfection, they can receive liberation, no problem. But even after living liberated, one can fall from spiritual path by committing offense against another pure devotee. The scriptures will not tell lies. All things are researched by Vyasa Maharshi and wrote it down. He says, Jivan mukta api punar bandhanam yanti karmabhi. Jivan mukta, living liberated, can also be bound, can sink in the quicksand of materialism. See what happens. जीवन मुक्ता अपि पुनर्बंधनम यान्ति कर्म भी यदि अचिंत महाशक्तो भगवती अपराधिना. Because of aparadha, offense. There are sins and offenses, two different things. The difference between both is like earth and sky. So much difference, vast difference. Those who have become living liberated, unless one is living liberated, cannot receive liberation after death. That is the slogan of Vaishnavism. So those who are living liberated, they can also again fall in the materialism, material sense gratification, entangled in cycle of birth and death due to committing offense against the lotus feet of another pure devotee. Ego does not work in spiritual life because I am an Indian, I am an American, I am a man and I am a woman. I am rich, I am great. These things don't work on spiritual path or in the higher world. These have no value. Why you have to be so proud? Be humble. If living liberated can fall, what is your situation? Are you living liberated? That question nobody should ask. You ask yourself, then you will know. Very difficult to find among living liberated one who is totally fixed in devotional service and Kṛṣṇa is God, thinking that. As long as one is not living liberated, cannot expect liberation after death. If living liberated can fall from spiritual path due to committing offense at the lotus feet of Lord Kṛṣṇa or the spiritual master or pure devotee, then what to speak of those who are not yet living liberated? They should be very careful. Parikshit Maharaj further says, if spiritual life has such kind of rules, and Vritrasura was a demon, and he was tormenting everyone, including tormenting the demigods. He was such a great sinner and was a ferociously looking gigantic demon. He was fixed in devotion to Lord Kṛṣṇa even in the battlefield where his arm were cut off. In such a situation, how come he remained fixed in the lotus feet of Lord Kṛṣṇa? See, name Kṛṣṇa is there. And this episode took place in the beginning of Treta Yuga, end of Satya Yuga. Their name Kṛṣṇa is there. See? So Kṛṣṇa is not of Dwapara Yuga. Kṛṣṇa is not of Kali Yuga. Kṛṣṇa is eternal. Kṛṣṇa is all time. Only those who do not have sufficient merits, they don't understand this. Kṛṣṇa is for all time. Parikshit Maharaj further asks, O Gurudeva, I want to know about this problem. Can you please solve this doubt of mine? Hearing this, Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, O king, the episode of Vritrasura and Indra, because it includes narration of pure devotees and Lord Kṛṣṇa, whoever hears with faith and reads properly, they get purity, blessings of the Lord. Then Sukadeva Goswami recites, what question you asked? I also asked same question to Vyasa Maharshi. And then what Vyasa Maharshi told me, later on I asked Narada Muni, same question. And he told me the same thing what Vyasa Maharshi told me. Then I asked Devala Muni. He also told me the same thing, episode, what I am going to tell you. Means Sukadeva Goswami heard from 3 sources. Then it is confirmed because they told the same thing. Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. Devala is a Shastra. Sadhu is Narad Muni. Guru is Vyasa Maharshi, acting as. So, 3 people must recommend this. Should say same thing. Spiritual life means spiritual life is not allowed. Speculation is not allowed. No kind of made up stories and jokes are not allowed in spiritual path. Everything should be scriptural. So Sukadeva Goswami is repeating scriptures and is telling him, O king, in ancient time there was an emperor named Chitraketu. He was the ruler of Surasena kingdom. Surasena, the whole earth was called then Surasena. He was emperor of the whole. At his time, there was no need to till land to grow grains, food. Earth was supplying abundance without working on it. Everything required for human beings to live or any living entities to live. He had millions of wives, queens, because one does not produce, then another marry another one. One don't produce, marry. So, because those days, millions of years the person lives, that days. So he married many, and none of them could produce any child. So the king was always in anxiety about who will take care of my kingdom. I want to go and perform austerity. Kings usually relinquish everything and go on the jungle, perform austerities and pay obeisances to Lord Kṛṣṇa and please him to go back to Godhead. He wanted somebody to take care of the kingdom so he could go. He could not get. His kingdom, his queens, his opulence, and whole earth, everyone was under his control properly and everybody was happy. One day, sage Angira, I'm getting old. Sage Angira, who had powers to curse anyone or to bless anyone, that sage, who is one of the 7 sages born out of Lord Brahma's mind, suddenly came in his kingdom and entered in his palace. Seeing Angira coming, the emperor stood up, folded his hands and welcomed him, gave him a high seat and sat down close to the high seat on the floor. Sage was very pleased, seeing the humility of the emperor, that he's sitting on the floor, welcomed him, gave him high seat. Angira asked, O king, the living entity, just as living entity is covered by false ego and mahatattva and 5 sense objects, similarly, the royal kingdom has 7 limbs called 7 paraphernalia, associates. Are they all perfect? Because face is index of the mind. Sage understood something is going on with the king, so he wants to know. What are those 7 things? The scriptures say, Swāmī Amatya Janapada Durgam Dravina Sanchaya. Dando mitram cha yasyedaha sapta prakritayo mataha. King has 7 paraphernalia, 7 limbs of the kingdom, 7 items, 7 things to be perfect. Number 1 is the spiritual master, Guru, called Swāmī, sannyasi. Number 2 is the ministers. His ministers must be very happy, so they can help him, advise him, rule properly. Then, third one is his kingdom. Kingdom shall be flourishing, very happy. Everybody is happy. Number 4 is his fort. Fort must be safe. It could be whatever is required. Number 5 is his treasury. Treasury must be filled. Money must be coming in and going out. Number 6 is his orders, punishing orders, hard, strict orders. Are they following properly? Number 7 is relatives and friends. Are they happy properly? Like that. So these 7 limbs of the king must be perfect. So king can be happily ruling and do everything. Angira Muni asked, are your ministers, everything, or provincial heads, controllers, they're okay? Do the citizens paying their due tax on time? Because Angira saw some kind of anxiety on the face of King Chitraketu. And he said, you know, you cannot hide from me, but I want to hear from you. I can understand what is going on, he says, because his supernatural sage is not normal, ordinary. Your inner anxiety is showing up on your face. Can you not hide, please? Tell me. Either you yourself is the cause of your problem, or somebody else is the cause. You got problem. Tell me what it is. Hearing this, Sri Sukadeva, King Chitraketu kept quiet. Sri Sukadeva Goswami says, Angira Muni understood there is something going on, a big problem inside the heart of the king. And king is not able to release that word. And Angira Muni asked several times, differently, same question. Now, king has to reveal, because he is also humble, he is just also scared, he can be cursed. He wants to get answer. Angira wants Angira's questions. Angira wants answers. So he has to answer. He bowed his head, humbly said, it is the nature, should be the nature of ideal person to bow head to a saintly person. Ideal nature should be, that should be. So he told the reason of his anxiety, thinking that if pure devotee becomes happy, there is nothing rare which cannot be received. Everything can be achieved. Even that is not written in the luck of a person, that also can be received by blessings of a pure devotee. Thinking this, king told. Next we will discuss. Next. Thank you very much.